Hello, welcome back. My name is Rachelle and I'm with TTB Media and Consulting, and I am super excited for this episode of our Playbook Live. Hopefully your day is going well today. I am just popping over. Liz and I just recorded our first podcast episode, so I'm super excited to share that with you guys. It is called Mic'd Up the Game Changer Edition, and our first episode is focusing on operational gaps. So I cannot wait to go and edit it after this and then share it with you so that you can learn all the things that we talked about with our podcast episodes. We're trying to keep them nice and short, so about like 10, 15, max of 20 minutes, so that way they're easy to digest and you can listen to them super quick and get a bunch of information and action items that you can complete today to improve your business. So if you are new, I know we have a couple new friends that are joining us, so welcome to the Game Changers. We try to post daily, if not multiple times a day, revenue boosters and marketing tips and tricks to help you increase your revenue, fill your classes, and also systemize your gym or gymnastics facility or dance studio. So this week we are talking about our fall open houses. So I think it was yesterday, it was 43 days. So today is 42 days until the first day of school, which is absolutely wild. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this summer has just flown by. The fact that there's only really one weekend left in July just blows my mind. In terms of gym wise, this summer is just filled with teams and finalizing rosters, skills camps, getting ready for choreography. And it's just go and go and go. And then you also are having athletes miss because they're on summer vacations, so you're having to adjust your lesson plans. And if you are feeling that summer slump of those classes that people are putting cancellations in for the summer, I'm really hoping that this Playbook Live will help you boost your enrollments. So if you are watching right now, pop a comment in so that I can say hi to you. If you are watching it later, make sure to comment #replay and let me know what your favorite part is. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments either during the video or afterwards, and I'll go back and respond to every single one of them. And then if you need to, make sure to DM myself or Liz, and we're always happy to chat. Okay, so high impact fall open houses. Super important, and back to school and fall registrations are the best time for registration. So that summer slump, people go off to summer vacations, they pause their programs, they pause their monthly classes. A lot of times they don't know if they are going to be there and they don't want to spend the money. They go back to school and now they have their set schedule for the year and they know, okay, I want to be able to do an activity on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or I want my weekends off so that we can still go do family activities. Or they want to be involved in a competitive sport like hockey, gymnastics, dance, cheerleading to help fill that, and then also get the benefits of building skills, creating friendships, having fun, being active every week. And we, as owners and coaches and teachers, we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of that. So, what can we do? First, we need to talk about what the purpose of an open house is. If you've never run an open house or you've run them for multiple years, then you'll know that the purpose of an open house is for new families or people who are interested, so prospects or leads that want to know more about your gym, your programs, your classes, your camps, your teams, for them to come check out your facility, meet your staff, ask their questions, and potentially get registered in that moment. It's also a good opportunity to invite past members or potentially leads that are kind of inactive or in your system but haven't quite converted yet, to invite them to come to this to try and re-engage them. It's also really good just because for so long we were all digital and there wasn't that personal connection. So a lot of people are liking that face-to-face. I want to just be able to get my answer. I don't want to wait 3 days to get a response on a Facebook inbox, which whole other topic we could be talking about in terms of response times. But they want that connection of like, why should I choose you? Is this the right fit? Is it the right feel? And that's what they can get at the open house. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure to set your open house date. So it is now 42 days until the first week of September. Are you looking at having it the week that they go back to school, the week after, a little bit later in September? Now, if you are looking at having it earlier in August, just be aware that you may have a lower attendance because people are still on vacation and they may not prioritize it as much. We also tend to not run open houses the first week of school. Kids are just exhausted. Parents are trying to juggle getting them back into school. The kids are exhausted. They're grouchy. They're sleep deprived, and they're trying to get into this schedule again from their summer sleep into their school sleep. So we tend to wait until the second week of September to run open houses, just to give them that little bit of buffer time and they don't feel overwhelmed as much, and they're more likely to convert into programs. So you've set a day, you need to set your time. You also need to make sure, do you have staff available and do you have the space available in your facility? And then you have to decide what you're going to do. So is it just going to be that you have someone there and they're hanging out in a table, and when people come in, they can get information, they can head out? That's not super exciting in terms of an open house. It doesn't engage your families very much. So you want to be trying to look at different ways that you can get them interested and a sneak peek into your program. So that could be running gym facility tours or studio tours. So going through with a staff member who their entire job during that open house is to take families and give them a tour. And touching on things that are like specific within your gym. So at Pegasus, which is Liz's gym, one of the things they have is a hand wall. So all of the athletes that finish a full year on a full year team, they get to slather their hand in paint, they put it on, they write their name, and they write their year. And it's something that when she's training her staff, that's a certain thing that they have to touch on when they go through in their gym tours, because it's something that's unique to them. It is like you get to watch like their hands grow throughout the year. They get really excited to see like, oh, this was the first team I'm on and this is the team I'm on now, and it actually wraps around the side of the gym, so you can just see like how many kids have been involved in the impact of the year, which is something that when you're on your gym tour and you're trying to show the culture of your gym or your studio, that's a great example of something that's really small and you might not think about just because it's a part of your gym, but for a new family, that could be a really cool thing for them. Also do you have mini class demos? So do you have a obstacle course for parkour? Do you have some athletes coming in and they're working on the bar, if you have like a ballet class? Or you also could have, instead of just bringing in specific athletes to work on certain skills in terms of stunts, have an open gym for certain athletes that you're like, oh, these would be really good people to demonstrate it. So in terms, I can just think of like, if you had like a U8 prep team that was like really all in and they're really excited and they have strong skills, then have them go in. But then also show that little bit older, so a U12 or a U16, offer them an open gym. It could be like just a free open gym for them. They can come in, they can work on tumbling, they can work on stunts, maybe they're working on a routine if you're in a studio or a performance, and just little things that you can do that makes the gym look busy, and they get like a sneak peek of like, oh, I want to do that. Or for example, we've had it before that if they sign a waiver form, you set up a little parkour obstacle course and the coach runs them through, and it takes like 5 minutes out of your time. You can run multiple athletes through it, and then you also have their waiver form, and you want to make sure that any of your waiver forms that are coming through this like open gym or this open house, making sure that they're going onto your email marketing system so you can follow up with those athletes. You also could have coach intros. So having a tumbling coach there, having a ballet coach or a hip hop or jazz coach, a cheerleading team coach, and getting the chance for families to talk. So if you're promoting a specific program, for example, your half year novice, having the half year novice coach there and like, hey, I would love to see you in classes on Friday. You could start this week. We are, practicing on these ones. We're going to these competitions. You're going to get like a mini uniform, anything that just has that personal touch where when they come into their practice, the time when they register, then they're like, oh, I've already met the coach. Like I know them. Like this is exciting. It takes away that pressure of like, I know no one and I'm trying something new. And even as an adult, you probably have had that before where it's like, even if it's like a book club and you're going to your first book club meeting, you're like, ooh, I don't know anyone. And like, this is like kind of like a nerve-wracking experience. The same things are happening with our kids in our classes and our programs. So how can we make it easier and more exciting for them to join? Also having a registration station. So, which is kind of fun to say, but having a specific admin over on the side that they can hand out flyers. They can have a laptop there or a computer and they are registering people on the spot like, hey, did you really like that? Okay, I'd love to get you into class. Here's the information. Here's the class days and times. We can also do tumbling assessments or parkour assessments if, for example, you have a tiered parkour system. So having a coach that can go to those so you can get them registered right away. You can also do other fun things like having fun little stations, like having face paint. So bringing someone in for that. Having like a spin the wheel of like a promo. Like if you spin the wheel, then you could get a free water bottle if it lands on one. Or maybe you get a $10 credit to the pro shop. Something like that where it's just interactive and has excitement. And then also those free try-its, like the parkour or getting a tumbling assessment, getting a parkour assessment. Another fun station you can do is a photo op or like a photo station. So like if they come to your open house, like getting someone to take photos of like, hey, come on in here, like take a photo with your family and we'll feature you on social media. And then they like see that and it's fun and they're like, oh, I want to be a part of that. The most important thing is have your most animated and fun outgoing staff at this event. So the people who are doing the gym tours, they can talk about their experience. So maybe they were an athlete that has now become a coach or a teacher. Maybe they are a parent that became an admin just because of the culture and the experience that their kids had. Or maybe it's the person who's running the parkour obstacle course or the tumbling assessments. Those people are just like super positive, super encouraging because those are the people that you're going to convert those families because they're like, I want to be a part of that. Like that coach made me feel amazing. So I want to make sure that they're here. In terms of promotion, so you've got all your things, you've had your date, you have your time, you have your staff, you have what you're going to do. Now we need to actually promote it and get it out there. So ideally you're planning 6 to 8 weeks out for these open houses and truly any event. You're wanting to really think about 6 to 8 weeks out and then start promoting it about 4 weeks out. You can, add it as a Facebook event. If you want to create an ad for it, you could do that, making sure it's on your website, sending out emails for your email marketing, adding social media. And as you get closer to that time, ramping up how much more. So putting up 2 posts a week and then putting up it's happening tomorrow, it's happening today, it's happening right now, and doing a live or taking photos and posting on social media on your Instagram stories and on your Facebook page and on your Instagram of like, come check this out. Posting in community groups if you have it and you have access to those. So if you have a specific city or town group saying like, hey, we'd love for you to come check it out. I also would just warn you, make sure to check. They have typically have specific promotion days that you can post in it. You can't necessarily post in it every day. But there are 2 different types. A lot of times those groups will have one that is a promotion. So you could promote like your programs, and then they have another one usually that is like an event. So double check because you may be able to post twice in that week. So one about your programs and then one about that event. And then go check out a couple different surrounding towns as well. And then if you have staff that are, for example, Liz's gym, she pulls in from quite a bit, a wide area. And she has staff that are actually living in the different communities. So she'll have staff post. So having that conversation with them, like, hey, can you share this on Friday in this specific group? Also, if you can send home flyers, so send home flyers with your athletes. If they're coming to your drop-in or play time or play zone, sending them home with flyers. You can also pair up with another organization. So, for example, you could have it that you have a business partnership with a physiotherapist. So, putting their information at yours and you putting your flyers there. Or maybe it's a massage therapist or a counselor, right? So, a family counselor that they may be having people come in and out. And then also, if you have a sign by your street, updating that to include it. Flyers within your gym, putting it on your TV presentation if you have one that talks in your like fan zone or your parent area. And just remember that your promotion should be as energetic as your classes. So if it's like very like boring, it's not bright, it's not fun, that's their first glimpse or their look at you, even before they come into your classes, even before they come into the open house, even before they come and meet your incredible staff who are super excited to get them into these classes. That's the first thing they see. So making sure that one, it's branded so they know who it is and that it is exciting and it makes them want to go and do that. Okay, other things to do. Make sure you're including call to actions. So RSVP today on our Facebook event, or enter in to get emails about it. So you can put it on your event on your website that says like, here, fill out this, and we'll send you emails about this specific event. Or register on site, and you'll get $50 off your team uniform. So different things like that, where you can just get those quick hits where they're like, oh, I'm interested in that, or like, oh, that could be really interesting, or oh, I was already thinking about a team, so like $50, now that's encouraging me to go and do it even more. Okay, so day of the event, a couple tips to help you really maximize and create a really high impact event. Have a check-in desk with really friendly greeters that can say, okay, here's where you're gonna go. They're gonna be at the very front of the building and they're gonna say like, hey, like welcome, come on this way. Head on over there, you're gonna get a gym tour. Once you're done your gym tour, you're gonna head over to this, then you're gonna head over to the admin table, and they can just help direct the flow. And also, just as another tip, so you can help create that, have them, you can get like one of those little, they're like little ticket counters, and you can count how many people come in, so that way when you're reconciling and doing your debrief of your event, you can say, okay, exactly this many people came. Use QR codes, iPads, computers, anything like that to help with instant registration. The easier and faster it is for them to get registered, the more likely they're going to convert. Take photos throughout the event so you can do a recap, do a reel, post on your story, so that way people are seeing those and they're wanting to be involved. And then follow up with those people. So if they filled out an interest form, or they filled in for a draw or a raffle, they've put their information, or they've registered, follow up with them. Say like, hey, thanks so much for coming. Here's a little bit of information about our program. If you need help getting registered, our staff are more than happy to help. That also is a great way to then follow up afterwards with a low barrier offer. So things like your trial program. So 3 weeks for $39, 4 weeks for $49 into your class, or hey, our registration for our rec team opened, or our half year novice, and we think this would be a good option for you. Okay, now we've talked about the planning side of it, we've talked about things to do during it, we've talked about the promotion. The other really important thing is that debrief. So we did a blog post about debriefing for your event, but one really important thing, at the beginning, set a budget. So how much are you going to need for staffing? How much are you going to need for printing? Are you picking anything up? What are your promotions? What will that cost internally? So if it's $50 off, making sure that you're noting, okay, for every person who signs up for a half-year team, they get $50 off their registration just for that event. If you're having to pick up decorations, making sure to budget Then at the end, making sure that you're debriefing. So how many people came? How much money did you spend on decorations, on activities? How much money did you spend on staffing? Was that more or less than you thought and you had originally budgeted? And then look at how many people came, how many people registered, what was the revenue that was brought in for that? Was it a one-off? So like, did they book a birthday party? Okay, awesome. So let's put that under this. Did they register for a team? Updating your numbers. Did they register for a class? Updating your numbers. So just really looking at it from a whole view of, you put out this money, how much money did you get back? And then also tracking as you go on, because they're not necessarily everyone's going to convert right away. So within the next month, looking at those people, did they convert? How did they convert? When did they convert? Okay. Okay, so that is our Playbook Live for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I respond to every single one of them. And send us a DM. So to myself or Liz, to the TTB account, Facebook, social media, or Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube. We are always happy to chat. We love chatting about all things business and youth sports. Other than that, you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, and we cannot wait for the next one.